There are things that makes for power. I'm not just talking about falling down. I'm not talking about falling down. I'm talking about the ability to rule the elements of this world. I'm talking about the ability to make the princes in darkness to bow. Because if we don't have such authority, we can't change anything. When you see things happening in the territory, there are princes regulating them. When you see things locked in the territory, there are gates that must open. These things are not jokes, they are not stories, they are reality. But there is something a man must enter to be able to unlock them. This is what makes you an agent of transformation. Else, you will have your accurate doctrine, you will speak your good English, but nothing will change. Nothing will change. Nothing until you become frustrated. The way is real. I was sharing with my friend this afternoon. We said the labor of the foolish, Ecclesiastes 10:15, wearied every one of them, because they know not how to enter the city. You don't enter the city by laboring. You enter the city by knowing how. There is a how to enter the city. And if you don't know the how, the gates will be locked. You will do the same thing somebody else did. Your results will be different. You will watch him do everything carefully, and you will do the same thing the way he did it, but your result will be different. The reason is because he has access in the spirit. What happens in time is commanded, but you don't have the voice that is upon his head in the spirit. So it's not by sin. That's why the children of Israel, they knew the acts of God. Moses knew the ways of God. Moses know how the miracles are invented. They watch the way the miracle is performed. So you can come and lay hand on the person's head, nothing happen. Somebody else lays hand, something happen. He knows the way, you know the how. You know the what, but you don't know the how. He knows both the how and the what. And it's a process, it's a protocol, it's a strategy, it's a laid down format in the spirit. And believers must know these things and commit themselves to it. Else we will be powerless. And if we are powerless, we can't change our world. If we are powerless, we can't shift things in our world. Do you think a harlot will stop the business because you spoke English? Do you know what has happened to her? The condition that led her into harlotry is one. The spirit that she's now a slave of is another. And then the neurological, psychological, biochemical processes that have already been activated is another. You think it's English language that will stop her from it? The brain has been remodified. There are hormones being secreted at certain hours of the day now, because that thing has become an appetite. When that time comes, even if there is no customer, she may want to manipulate herself to feel the sexual urge, because the brain has been conditioned. And even if you treat the brain, the spirit is still there. And when you deal with the spirit, the circumstance that led her to harlotry is still there. You think it's English language that can change that? Is power. God doesn't send anybody without power. He said, tarry in Jerusalem until you are endued with power. You have been my disciples for 3.5 years, but it's not enough. I know you saw it. I know you learned the principle, but wait. If power doesn't come, your word will swallow you. He has never sent men without power. Power is the code of life. Power is what unlocks a generation to their potentials in God. And until we become candidates of power, we have no gospel, we have no message for our generation. That's why Paul said, I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. It is the power. It's the power. It's not the explanation of the ways of God. It's the power of God unto salvation. And power has no regard for age. If you know it, you know it. If you have it, you have it. So a boy of 5 years can have power. A man of 80 years can have power. At the end of the day, who has power is the one that calls the shot.